Blessings, everyone, and welcome to another story time with Kanita, where I tell true crime stories and Bible stories. And today will be a Bible story. This is the story of Jehoshaphat and Ahab, both kings. This is found in 1 Kings 22, and it's found in 2 Chronicles chapter 17 through chapter 19 and 3. Now, after Asa had died, his son Jehoshaphat became king of Judah. The Lord was with him, and he followed the example of King David. The first thing he did was make the nation more secure, and he also set up an educational program so people could understand God's laws. The Lord made the surrounding nations fear Jehoshaphat so that they didn't want to go to war with him. The king decided to build an alliance with the kingdom of Israel. So he arranged a marriage between his son and the daughter of King Ahab. Now, Jehoshaphat then went to Israel to make the alliance stronger. Ahab said to him, "I'm going to fight a battle. Come with me and we'll do it together." Jehoshaphat said, "Well, I'm willing to go if it's God's will, so let's ask a prophet," because Jehoshaphat always followed what God wanted him to do. Ahab sent for his 400 prophets. He said, "Should we go into this battle?" They all said yes, because they were yes men. They were false prophets. Yes, go fight because God will give you victory. So King Jehoshaphat said, "I want to hear from a prophet of the Lord. Don't you have one in Israel?" Ahab said, "Well, yes, we have one, but I hate to call him because he only says bad things about me. He always talking about judgment." So, he didn't want to hear about from this one prophet because the prophet of the Lord was giving him judgment. So Jehoshaphat said, "Still, I want to hear from him." So Ahab said to the guards, "Go get Micaiah and bring him here." As the guards brought the prophet in, they said to him, "Everyone else is saying good things about the king's plans, so go along with them." And so he said, "There is a God in heaven. I'll say what the Lord tells me to say." Because look, I'm not going to say what you're going to say. I'm not a yes man. The only yes man I am is to what God tells me to say, right? So when King Ahab had saw Micaiah, he said, "Tell me, should I lead my army into this battle or should I stay home?" And Micaiah said, "Oh, you should definitely go. You'll be successful." Ahab glared at him. "I've told you over and over, always tell me the truth. What does the Lord really say about this battle?" So Micaiah said, "I see Israel scattered like sheep without a shepherd. Their master is dead." Ahab turned to Jehoshaphat. "See, I told you he only says bad things about me." So Micaiah said, "Hear the word of the Lord. I saw God sitting among his angels. He said, 'How shall I get King Ahab to go to battle?' The angels had various ideas. Then one spirit said, 'I can make him go. I'll become a lying spirit in the mouth of his prophets. He'll believe them and go into battle.' So that's what he did. Listen, the Lord wants you at the battle." So one of Ahab's prophets walked over and slapped Micaiah. And Ahab yelled at the guards, "Put this man in prison. Give him nothing but bread and water until I come back from battle." So Micaiah yelled at the crowd, "Everyone listen and remember, I'm not a prophet of God if the king returns from this battle." So the battle was very fierce. The opposing army was focused on killing Ahab, but they couldn't find him. At one point, they thought King Jehoshaphat was Ahab. But once they realized they were mistaken, they turned away from him. So finally, a man just shot a random arrow into the air without even aiming. And it hit Ahab at the joint in his armor. He yelled, "Take me off the battlefield. I'm wounded." Ahab watched the battle propped up in his chariot. He died as the sun set in the west. They took his body back to the capital city and buried him, and someone washed his chariot at a pool. Dogs licked up his blood, just as the Lord has said. So listen, ain't nobody gonna be no false prophet. Everybody gonna be a yes man. Micaiah was not a yes man. Micaiah told him what the Lord had said. Ahab didn't want to listen to it. So guess what? Ahab, that was his demise. He was a bad king, but his wife is even worse than he is. His wife was Jezebel, and we'll learn more about Jezebel later on. So God bless you guys, and God keep you. Amen.